school. Oh, I think it started before me. I'll try again. Good morning, friends. Welcome back to school. It is Thursday. You made it through your relaxing and reviewing Wednesday, and now we're starting back up for Thursday. So it's nice. You have intense learning on Monday and Tuesday, and then you have it again on Thursday and Friday, and you get a little break in the middle. It's like an Oreo cookie. And so today we're going to continue talking about friendship, and we're going to read a story written by Kevin Hankes, who was also the author of Lily's Purple Plastic Purse and Chrysanthemum. And the name of this book is called Chester's Way. It's a very sweet little story, and you might even recognize a character in there. But it's a book about first impressions and how a first impression is when you meet someone for the first time and you think you know them. And sometimes, well, most of the time, there's lots that you don't know, and this is about that situation for Chester. So let's start at the beginning. I'm going to try to do my best. Again, the screen is backwards for me, and so it's a little confusing, but I'm going to do my best. Chester had his own way of doing things. Hello, my name is Chester. I like croquet and peanut butter and making my bed. I don't know any children who like making their bed. So right off the bat, I know that Chester is unique. He always cut his sandwiches. Well, let me see. Let's see if I can get this right. Work. Here we go. He always cut his sandwiches diagonally. He always got out of bed on the same side, and he never left the house without double knotting his shoes. Chester always had the same thing for breakfast, toast with peanut butter and jam, and he always carried a miniature first aid kit in his back pocket, just in case. You definitely have a mind of your own, said Chester's mother. That's one way to put it, said Chester's father. Let's see here. Chester's best friend, Wilson, was exactly the same way. That's why they were best friends. Chester wouldn't play baseball unless Wilson played, and they never swung at the first pitch or slid head first. Wilson wouldn't ride his bike unless Chester wanted to, and they always used hand signals. So they were like two peas in a pod. They just went together like peanut butter and cupcake, I guess. If Chester was hungry, Wilson was too, but they rarely ate between meals. Some days I can't tell those two apart, said said Wilson's mother. Me either, said Wilson's father. Chester and Wilson and Chester. That's the way it was. They went together. They just did everything together. They loved to go on picnics. Let's see if I can show you. On this side. They loved to go on picnics. Once when Wilson accidentally swallowed a watermelon seed and cried because he was afraid that watermelon plant would grow inside him, Chester swallowed one too. Don't worry, said Chester. Now, if you grow a watermelon plant, I'll grow one too. Chester duplicated his Christmas list every year and gave a copy to Wilson because they always wanted to have the same things anyway. Can you guess what duplicated means? Talk to your teacher parent if that person is nearby and brainstorm what duplicated means. I'll read the sentence again so you can maybe take clues from the sentence. Chester duplicated his Christmas list every year and gave a copy to Wilson. For Halloween, they always dressed as things that went together. Salt and pepper shakers, two mittens on a string, ham and eggs. They really are two peas in a pod, said Chester's mother. Looks like it, said Chester's father. It's good to have a buddy that's close like that. And if you don't have a buddy that's close like that, you will. You don't have a buddy that's close like that yet. In spring, Chester and Wilson shared the same umbrella. In winter, they never threw snowballs at each other. They were besties, you know. In fall, they raked leaves together. And in summer, they reminded each other to wear sunscreen so they wouldn't burn. Chester and Wilson, Wilson and Chester. That's the way it was. Whoop. There they are. And then Lily moved into the neighborhood. Do you remember Lily? I do, in her purple plastic purse. I love it when characters show up like this in other books. Lily had her own way of doing things. I am Lily. I am the queen. I like everything. Look at her. She's so fun. I like to imagine when I was a little girl, I probably had a little bit of Lily in me. She wore Band-Aids all over her arms and legs to look brave. Oop, there we go. She talked backwards to herself sometimes so no one would know what she was saying. I, ma, Elil. It's hard to say. And she never left the house without one of her nifty disguises. Oh, it looks like Wilson and Chester aren't real sure what to make of this strange person. Their first impression is a little, nah. Lily waved at all the cars that passed by, even if she didn't know who was in them. And she always carried a loaded squirt gun in her back pocket, just in case. She definitely has a mind of her own, said Chester. That's one way to put it, said Wilson. Not sure about this one. When Lily asked Chester and Wilson to play, they said they were busy. When she called them up on the phone, they disguised their voices and said they weren't home. Oh my. If Lily was walking on one side of the street, Chester and Wilson crossed to the other and hid. Look at her. There they are hiding behind the tree. She's something else, said Chester. Looks like it, said Wilson. They're not really sure about her. Their first impression isn't good. One day, while Chester and Wilson were practicing their hand signals, some other boys rode by, popping wheelies. They circled Chester and Wilson and yelled personal remarks. Now, if you just hear that, you don't know what personal remarks might mean. But when we look at the picture, we learn probably what was happening, what they were saying. I'm going to guess by the looks on the big boys' faces and this one, or the other one, that one pointing his fingers, that they're not being very nice. But I also notice a little bow tail back there in the bushes. Who might that be? Let's find out. Chester and Wilson didn't know what to do. Let's see here. Just when they were about to give up hope, a fierce-looking cat with horrible fangs jumped out of the bushes and frightened the older boys away. Look at that. With her water gun. Look at that. Bet their impression's going to change. Are you who I think you are? Chester asked the cat. Of course, the cat replied. Thank you, Lily, said Chester. You're welcome, Chester, said Lily. Thank you, Lily, said Wilson. You're welcome, Wilson. I'm glad you were wearing a disguise, said Chester. And I'm glad you had your squirt gun, said Wilson. I always do, said Lily, just in case. Afterward, Chester invited Lily over for lunch. You have a Muscle Mouse cup, said Lily. Of course, said Chester. I do too, said Lily. Same here, said Wilson. Chester and Wilson cut their sandwiches diagonally. Lily asked Chester's mother if she had cookie cutters, and she made stars and flowers and bells. That's neat, said Chester. Wow, said Wilson. So she had other ideas. So they found something in common with the Muscle Mouse cup, and then Lily had some fun ideas for their sandwiches. That night, Lily invited Chester and Wilson to sleep over. You have a nightlight, said Chester. Of course, said Lily. I do too, said Chester. Same here, said Wilson. Chester and Wilson wanted toast with jam and peanut butter for breakfast the next morning. Boring, said Lily. Try this instead. This is good, said Chester. Wow, said Wilson. So there is the spend the night picture, and there's the breakfast. I would say that Lily is adding just a little spice to their life. After that, when Lily asked Chester and Wilson to play, they said yes. When she called them up on the phone, they had pleasant conversations, so they weren't hiding from her and not answering anymore. And if Lily was walking on one side of the street, Chester and Wilson waved and ran to catch up with her. I think they might be friends. Look at Lily has a paper bag on her head. So funny. Chester and Wilson taught Lily hand signals, and she taught them how to pop wheelies. Lily taught Chester and Wilson how to talk backwards, and they taught her how to double knot her shoes. So there's the wheelie popping. And there is. There you go. Cool, right? I think there's some friendship growing. Some days I can't tell those three apart, said Lily's mother. Me either, said Lily's father. Chester and Wilson and Lily. Lily and Wilson and Chester. That's the way it was. See their feet? I think that's so funny. They have boots on underneath there. There they are, playing together. For Halloween, they dressed as the three blind mice. For Christmas, Lily gave Chester and Wilson nifty disguises, and they gave her a box of multicolored shoelaces, extra long for double knotting. They loved to go on picnics. When Chester and Wilson told Lily about how they had each swallowed a watermelon seed once, Lily swallowed 3 of them. I'll grow a watermelon plant for each of us, she said. In spring, Chester and Wilson and Lily shared the same umbrella. In winter, they never threw snowballs at each other. In fall, they raked leaves together, and in summer, they reminded each other to wear sunscreen so they wouldn't burn. Let's try and get the pictures here. Chester and Wilson and Lily. Lily and Wilson and Chester. That's the way it was. Uh-oh, there's a ... That's the way it was. And then Victor moved into the neighborhood. Oh my goodness. There's Victor. Now Victor is got a grouchy face and he's chasing the butterfly and he's super dirty. And they're hiding behind their masks. Huh. I wonder what their first impression of Victor was. And when they made a first impression about Lily, were they right? I don't know. We have to be careful when we make impressions like that, and instead of getting to know people personally, because sometimes we're wrong. And we can, like, if Chester and Wilson had decided that Lily wasn't their people and stuck with that idea and didn't give Lily a chance, look how much they would have missed out on. They would have missed out on so many good things. So I want you to talk with your teacher parent about what strategies, what friendship things could they do with Victor to get to know him better? What could they do with Victor? What are some things they could do with Victor? I wonder. That's a great question. All right, friends. I hope that you have a great day. Good luck today. You can do it. Talk to you later.